And it looks like I am, yes, I am live. Okay, this is the Ocean Swagger, and I am here very, very happy tonight and have been happy all day and really all weekend because there are so many things in the world that are going very well, and it's time to turn away from all the doom and gloom. Because things that we have asked for, intentioned, and otherwise wanted to come in have started to happen. And I'm going to go over a few of the things that I said was going to happen and a few of the ways that I know this is now happening. And it is happening. I mean, it's on. And it made it even a few days earlier. I said it was probably going to start in February. A lot of this stuff, here it is already, just at the end of January. We're not even done with January yet, and it's already starting to happen. So, February is going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, hello, everybody who's watching. I'm the Ocean Swagger with the de-assimilated news. That's right. You can't go to regular news anymore and find any news. They just won't tell you anything that's relevant to anything, really. It's all propaganda. But here on the de-assimilated news section of my uh, D-Ocean channel, we do the deep woo here. And as you know, I believe in a code-shaped Earth. So, the real shape of the Earth, I don't know. Could be a rainbow farting unicorn. I have no idea. I can't know. It looks like a ball to me when I go out for a walk and, but hey, I don't know. Could be a trick of the light, or it could just be the Matrix. In a Matrix, it could look like literally anything, and it could even look like different things from different angles if this is a hollow fractal. Now the reason is that I do have to do something on what exactly holofractal means because people get it so confused. What the heck does that really mean? But once you see what a fractal actually is, I mean, it's all one thing. It looks like a bunch of other things, a bunch of things. It's really all one thing. That's a fractal. And there are versions of itself budding off and budding off and budding off. And a hologram, you already know what that is. So, holofractal, yeah, in VR. So, I believe that it's probably, to me, it's a done deal. We're in a matrix. It's arguable, of course, but to me, that kind of makes sense. Why it would be a holofractal, because we're about to invent that. We're just about to invent matrix life. We're leading up to that now. So that would make it a matrix in a matrix in a matrix in a matrix in a matrix. Just like one of those infinity mirrors. How's that for a deep thought? I told you it was deep woo. Read the title. The Ocean's Deep Woo. That's what it is here. I mean, that's what we do. So, this is my calendar that I made, and I'm very proud of this. I've been meaning to show you through the pages of this. I'm going to do a little bit of this in case anybody manages to get in. I don't know if anybody got my note that I'm coming in. Anyway, here's a picture of my sweet little kitty cowboy on the very first page in January with butterfly wings. And all nice, pretty pastel colors. Oh dear, I gotta tell you, I've been discussing with some of my other psychic friends, what's with this sudden waves of I need to go lie down and sleep a bit. We've been doing a lot of things in the other realms. So for some reason, I felt like February is a great big magenta eye. Probably because we're really going to have our eyes wide open in February. Uh, we're really going to see some eye-opening things in February. That's not very far. This is not far away. This is only, and by the way, Mercury Retrograde is going to be ending on the 4th. So Mercury Retrograde has been playing all kinds of hell with people who are way too interested in all of the Mercury things on the physical side. But if you're really more into the spiritual side of all that Mercury means, you're going to have fun during this time. Oh, hey, Max. Hi. Hi. Good to see you. I wasn't sure if the notes made it out or not. And here is one of my dragons that I did. Here is a dragon. Hope you like dragons, because that's what I've got for March. March is going to, I think, come in like a dragon. This is Max. This is my calendar that I did. So it's going to be interesting. March is coming in like a dragon. And then, of course, we have things starting to wake up in the spring in April. And actually, it was so cool when I took this photo. And by the way, these are mostly my photos, and I have done digital painting and some photo manipulation to make these. So that's how these are being made. Yeah, Max, I have some stuff to talk about as far as Canada, by the way. Max remote viewing class, you ought to go see it if you haven't been. He is teaching remote viewing, and I go to it, and basically it's one of the things we should be working on, because it is one of our superpowers. It isn't really a superpower. We're supposed to have it. Okay, so May should be electric. A lot of things with the energy coming in, and a lot of new energies coming in. So May is going to be colorful. Here we go. I don't know why I put June, as this is a depiction when we went. In fact, during one of the remote viewing classes, we went to see what Lyra looked like. And so this is really a depiction of what Lyra looked like to me. So somehow in June we have Lyra. And then in August we have, wait a minute, where's July? Oh, there's July. July, an alternate reality. Bigfoot in August. I don't know why. Maybe there'll be some big news on Bigfoot. I don't know. Is this predictive? Have no idea. And then we have the pyramid, and the all-seeing eye is obviously not human. Well, maybe we got some alien action coming in September. I don't know. Uh, there's me. Yeah. Picture of me from not that long ago, like maybe 3 or 4 years. And that's photo manipulation. I wasn't really standing there, but here we go. Another dragon. Oh, so November is going to be another dragon, but a different kind. Um, then December is happy dolphins photobombing other dolphins, and January, of course, is this reflection thing going on here. And you're not going to believe me, but I took this picture. That is actually not a waterway, but a mud puddle out behind uh, one of our stores here. But it sure looks like a waterway. It was just so picturesque. I had to take a picture of it. So um, that's just the way my eyes work and my brain works. And Cowboy is trying to sharpen his nails on my wicker couch. And February, this is an 18-month calendar. February with a very interesting sky. And a misty forest with sort of interesting shapes and orbs in April. And I think there's one or two more in here. Yes, an alternative reality in May. And a whole different reality emerges in May. And in June, we have another dragon. So I don't know what's going to happen, guys, but that's kind of what I did. And sometimes I do these things and they end up being predictive. So who knows? Oh, you do, Max? Really? I'm thinking of making these to sell. I think it turned out really well. It's a very high quality paper. These are all cardstock, and I wouldn't have any problem at all backing them and putting them on my wall. So there's 18 photographs in here. There's 18 pictures, 18 pieces of art. I'm kind of halfway thinking of selling these. Well, Deepu, today we have a lot of good news coming in. A lot of wonderful things are happening in the world, finally. And I would go so far as to say this is the year that we bought our e-ticket to Earth to see. This is the year when things start really seriously changing. And I have proof. I have some things that I can bring up to show you this is a fact. Okay, things are definitely changing. But I urge you to remember that this is Mercury retrograde. And Mercury retrograde, now the thing about Mercury is he loves to bust serious people. If you're too serious about all of the things that Mercury represents on the physical plane, you're going to get all confuzzled during a Mercury retrograde because things break down, everything to do with finances, money, transportation, vehicles, internet, all kinds of weird stuff happens. And Mercury is, I did a video about it. You can find it on my channel, a video about what Mercury retrograde is, but you can have a lot of fun during Mercury retrograde too. And this time, Mercury is actually helping us out because he is confusing and befuddling all of the people that have been doing wrong anyway, and actually helping us. Yes, we do need the change. So he is actually befuddling in our benefit, to our benefit, screwing with people that need to be screwed with. Okay, so these people need it. They, one of the things, I'll just start with some of the stuff that maybe you heard of. A guy who reminds me of a reject from Dumb and Dumber, his hairdo anyway. Boris, old Boris over in the UK. He had to retract his mandates due to being found to be party and hardy while he told everybody else to stay home and obey mandates. And I mean, this was maskless and et cetera, no social distancing. So the party boy has had to settle himself down, and he has completely dropped every restriction and mandate in the UK. That's big news. You're not hearing. This is the news you're not going to be hearing much of on. No, you're not going to hear this on the so-called news channels because they don't really tell you the news, or they're not interested in telling you the news. They're all propaganda. I'm sorry. Now that's probably why CNN is less popular than Russell Brand, okay? So, but I'll tell you what I can find out. Hey, Pam, and I love to see B. Freeman in here. Let's see, Pam, I am. We are happy to announce that Pam's daughter is feeling much better now, and I'm so happy to hear that. And congratulations, Pam, for getting through all that. I know we were all sending energy as much as we could to that, and love you. So, first of all, we've got that going on in the UK, from a draconian lockdown to now all restrictions off. That is a big world change. That's huge, huge. But so is the fact that Prince What's His Face got totally stripped of everything. I can't even remember. Was it Harry? Harry Prince? The Harry Prince? I don't know. Prince Harry. Anyway, got totally stripped of all his privileges because of his shenanigans. That's another sign this is coming unraveling. You know, it's just unraveling, guys. It's just coming unraveled. Um, and it's going to keep going. This is not going to stop. Now, Mercury Retrograde is kicking it off really good. Okay, it's giving it a really good send off. And things are going to change a little bit when Mercury goes direct. Because, you know, Mercury retrograde is kind of like its own little territory. It's almost like an alternate dimension that we go into, sort of. But this kind of thing is going to continue. And when another Mercury retrograde comes, it will probably pick up where it left off and get even wilder. So I kind of expect that every time we have a Mercury retrograde in this year, it's going to expect it to ratchet up even a notch higher than it originally is. The next thing, okay, so Prince Harry gets his royal butt kicked by his mom, and this is very good. I mean, this is a really good thing. He needed that. You know, he was doing wrong, and he got pulled up short. The next thing that I noticed is, let me see. One of the big, huge things is the Canada truckers' slow roll. People are literally getting out in below freezing weather to line the streets in support of the Canadian truckers doing a slow roll in protest of mandates. And I have never been more proud of Canada in my whole life. And I want to say we are full-heartedly backing the Canadians in this. And I hear that some of our U.S. truckers have joined, which I think is wonderful. I'm very proud of them too. And I hear that it is sparking off other such movements in other countries. I heard Brazil. I have also heard that there are other parts of Europe where people are organizing the same kind of slow roll convoy. And this is perfect. Yeah, I didn't see any trolls myself, but if you do, you know, B. Freeman is, I know B. Freeman, so don't worry about him. We know him. Um, you've closed the borders, Max? Yeah, I want to hear from the Canadians. What is going on? We have shut down Ottawa peacefully. Wow. Yeah, see, this is great. This is great. This is brilliant. It's genius. How, because if it's just people standing there, they can pull the pepper gas and drag you off type stuff, right? How are they going to do that to a convoy of semis? They're not going to be able to do that. And if you try to blockade or deny them diesel, you're not going to get your goods and services. So what are you going to do? And this is the common man saying, hey, you work for us. We don't work for you. You are supposed to do what we want. We're not supposed to do what you want. This is our place. You are being paid by our money. And you will do as we say. This is the role of freedom. I hope it gets adopted everywhere around the world. I am so happy about this. It's perfect, perfect, perfect solution. Beautiful. Justin has gone into hiding. Oh, well, thank you, Pam. That's wonderful. Oh, yeah, I bet you. I bet you he has. Yeah, because honestly, yeah, we have trolls from time to time, and Pam will stomp on you. I didn't see Bomber's Trucker video. I don't get any, I don't hardly get any notes from that my friends are even on. It's really bad. I don't know what YouTube is thinking. Um, oh yeah, the globalist agenda connection is coming up now. That's another thing that is really coming up. But here is a bombshell that I don't hear many people talking about. That's really, really. There was a guy who wrote a book about, he was researching digging up all kinds of dirt about famous people. Well, you remember that little Hunter Biden issue that they covered up a while back? Well, Hunter Biden's about to be back in the limelight again because this guy has found a connection between him and the Chinese Communist Party to the tune of $31 million. And this by a branch of the CCP that is dedicated to hiring spies. This would constitute high treason. Now, if it is found, yes, $31 million going from the CCP to the Biden family. If this is found to be the case, that Daddy is involved in this in any way, then just as I said, this could be a very short 3 years for him. Because necessarily that's high treason. There's no scrouge room for that. And if then it also comes back out again that now wasn't the Hunter thing, wasn't that involved somehow with the Ukraine? I can't really remember. I didn't hear very much about it. It just kind of was squashed before I heard very much. And now we're hearing Ukraine come back up again. Yeah, very interesting. Um, oh, there was a meme of Klaus saying he has justice in our parliament and oh, in Canada. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wow. Very nice. So literally, it's all coming unraveled. It's all coming unraveled. And once they start pulling threads, there are going to be other threads. Okay. Not only that, but the scoop on the Gilla uh, Maxwell stuff. She's already being sentenced and thrown in for 40 years and guilty on 6 counts out of 7. And now that she sees that she's been thrown on the tracks and left a twist in the wind and all those other analogies by her people that she thought would probably come riding in and try to rescue her somehow. But they didn't. The scoop is she's not gonna bother to pay her lawyers to hide anything anymore. Because why should she? Now she's going to have to see if she can pay them to get her out or get her some reduced time. And yeah, it's going to be real interesting to see how that songbird sings. So stay tuned on that. Now, do I expect to hear it ever on regular news? I will be very surprised if we do. I will be surprised. But this is the de-assimilated news, so you'll hear it here. Yep. Oh, don't. Pam says, don't pull my threads. I'm trying to make a baby blanket. You don't want to make a blanket out of any of these threads, Pam, I guarantee. Yeah, and it's true. Once people start to wake up, it will be very, very hard to put them back to sleep. The genie will not willingly go back into the bottle. And oh, yeah, and B. Freeman says, yeah, something about the Ukraine. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? And if it's been found that he has been having dealings with both, yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Double jeopardy, high treason. Yep. Yep. Oh, their threads might be, Freeman Hype. Gruesome, but actually, I wouldn't put it past some of those people. For B. Freeman says, as long as those threads aren't made out of babies, well, heck, you never know what they might do. They're darn crazy. Uh, crazy. I mean, if the pizza stuff can be believed, and if even half of it is true, or if even some of it is true, um, you know, this stuff has got to stop. That'll probably come back out too. I wouldn't doubt it. It's probably going to come back out. And maybe that's when the dragon comes out. I don't know. But we're really going to see things that are probably, and I know that you that are listening to this kind of show, my kind of show, you are going to be more informed than most people because you have a brain still, and it still works, and you still inquire, and you still think for yourself, and you still think outside the box and look into things that you're not supposed to nose into, right? I know you do. And that's what I love about you. Okay. That's one of the many things I love about this crowd is that you guys are not letting anybody tell you what the truth is. You're going to find it out for yourself. even if you have to go and remote view it to find out, right? Ah, uh-huh. Yeah, and we do that. So, hey, oh yeah, I wouldn't want pizza or hot dogs from no heck no. No Italian food whatsoever from those folks. No. Yeah, you're right, B. Freeman. Oh, oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, Max, grim as it is. Hi, Brandy Johnson. Hi, how are you doing? Good evening. And so this is really all of these things, as horrific as some of these things are, they are reason to celebrate that it is coming to light. And what did I say? Once again, here we go with the deep woo part of this. I have been saying this, and not so far. I've been on target, pretty close. I said it probably going to start in February. Well, it started a few days earlier. Okay, we are in the orb of that. Now, the day when Pluto really goes into it, now listen to the numerology of this. You're going to love this. Is going to be on 2022 to 22. Oh my goodness. I would predict that the 2nd of February of this year is going to be a fun day. Watch the news, and I mean the alternative news, because you probably won't hear anything from the regular news, what they're calling the news from the fake news. Hi Drake, how you doing? It's so good to see you. Yeah. Um, Interesting numbers. I would say look out, watch for something weird to happen. Probably gonna be on 2/2/22 and on 2/2/22/22. 20, or something like that on 2/22/22. Yeah. So basically, it's going to be a lot of twos. And I have been seeing the twos, the multiple twos. I've also been seeing the multiple fours and the multiple fives. And four is like, to me, four always represents foundations, and five represents changes. So I think what's going to happen is the very foundation of our society is going to undergo some drastic changes. And it starts this year. So when I say that we came here and we bought the e-ticket, now some of you won't remember, but used to be you go to Disneyland, the e-ticket was the interesting rides, okay? So those of you who are still here, you bought the e-ticket, right? And now we're finally getting to the times that you came here to see, okay? So this is the part of the movie where we're finally going to see the heroes actually make some serious headway. Because we thought we were going to see it a few times, and it's funny the way the hero's journey goes. Usually they make some headway and then they end up getting beat back a little bit. And when they come back the second time, they come back really strong. And that's when they win. So if it's following the hero's journey, this is probably going to be for the win. So, yes, the two in numerology represents partnerships, coming together, balancing of two individual people, concepts, or things. Yes, that's true. So, numerologically, we are talking about partnerships. We're also talking about love. We're talking about getting together, coming together. I think of ideas. I think the dream where I saw people saying, to heck with it. If I'm already dead, I might as, just heck with it. I'm already dead. It doesn't matter. In that dream, I think people just had enough and they said, pretty much what I said at one point. They can only kill us once. We might as well do what we feel we need to do to change this. Why be afraid? They can only kill us once, you know? Yes, perfect. Yes, we are the champions, my friend. We are going to get it. Oh, B. Freeman said he got a ticket drawn on a whiteboard from several years ago. I don't understand exactly what you mean by that, but it sounds interesting. Yeah, let's sing a few verses of We Are the Champions, my friends. Uh, Next time I can actually bring in other tabs and stuff, we'll do some karaoke. And that'll be one of the songs we'll all sing together. We are the champions, my friend. Freddie Mercury would love that. And it's a great thing that I just love this concept. It's such genius. And what I think is going to happen is that this is going to catch on. We're going to see this happening around the world. Moreover, there are going to be, now that this is open up and people are starting to say, wait a minute, we do have power. We are not powerless. You see, the truckers realize something very fundamental. What have I been saying? We're not powerless. There are a lot of us. A lot of us. Okay? We are not powerless. And they realized, wait a minute. Wait a minute. We're not powerless. We can do something about this. And it is perfect. It is peaceful. Nobody's getting hurt. Nobody's getting tear gassed. And they're not going to be able to drag the semis away. Yeah, like I said, they're not going to be able to tear gas them and drag them away, are they? It's going to be a lot harder to hit them up there in the cab. So, and if they do that, they're not going to get their stuff that they need. People are going to be all over them for not letting their goods and services come. They can't do anything about this, and they can't ignore it. Every time this rolls through somebody's neighborhood, people are going to notice. So it's not going to be invisible. They're not going to be able to cover this up. It's not going to be able to be covered up. Those days are gone. This is it. And it's brilliant. And I love it. And I'm so glad that I stuck around to see it. So if you're still here and you're thinking of leaving, you might want to hang on a little bit and see what happens next. You might want to at least stay for 22. Now, really, Canada in Iroquois means village be a village in spirit. Well, that's very cool. Yes. And this is I mean, I'm so excited about this. I can't help it. I can't say enough about it. The fact that they're picking this up in Brazil, amazing. And yeah, and I hear there are other parts of Europe that are planning things like this. And I think that's going to lead other people to think of other ways that we can exert our power peacefully and remind them who the hell they work for. You work for us. We do not work for you. You take orders from us. We are who you work for. That is what we must get across to these people. Because honestly, they're acting like we should be bowing down to them. Like they are royalty and we should just be doing as they say. I'm sorry, baby. That is not where we are today. Okay? As a species, we have largely moved on for that, and even the queen is mostly a figurehead. So, and that doesn't mean that just because we've got elected officials that they're the new royalty. They're supposed to be public servants. And if they're not serving us, what the hell are they doing? getting the wages that they get all their life. These people that get into these jobs, they're paid that wage for life. Your money, my money. And then they're trying to tell us we can't have our money when we need it. And they're giving it to people that are screwing us over. How many homes have been foreclosed on? How many more homes are going to be foreclosed on? And now that the housing market is coming back up, who is profiting? Individuals? No, the banks. Yeah, this needs to change. That's going to come up too. I have a feeling that's going to come up too. And one of the ways that we get rid of an old structure is by coming up with a new structure that works better, that everybody turns to just because it works better. So I think we're going to be doing some of that too. Yeah, other industries can do the same kind of thing. And this is interesting. Yeah, we need to take their money. We need that money. You've been printing all this fake money and giving us funny money. And then you've been taking all the golden stuff. It's like, oh no, no, no. We've got to reverse this. We've got to reverse this. I think basically instead of just throwing them in the pokey forever, just throwing them in prison forever or something, I think they should be made to pay back the American people what they've swindled and everybody else in the UK and Canada and everybody. I think they should be made to pay back. Pay it back. I think their wage should stop the moment that they are found guilty. Their wage should stop. Wages should cease. They never get another wage, and then they need to pay back. And if you have to take up a paper route or something, or sell your body on the street, I don't care. We don't care. You're going to pay us back, bud. But no, I'm not advocating that really. I'm kidding about that because I try to make light of all this. But seriously, they should be made to pay it back. When we find out who the criminals are, instead of taking their time that's bad. But you know what? Taking their finances, that's really going to hurt too. And they need to pay it back. If they're going to get out and still be worth millions, but if they're going to get out and be a pauper, that's going to scare them. But I think Washington's probably going to end up eating itself. They're probably going to throw each other under the bus, and so is the media. So is all of these people to plea bargain to get themselves out of the trouble that they finally figure out that they're in, and well deservedly so. And I'm sorry, I'm all out of give a dams, okay? Because it's too much. They've just been at this, just whittling away just for way too long, unrepentantly, and obviously have absolutely no intention of changing their ways. So what happens now in the realm of justice, they really fully deserve. They are totally unrepentant so far and don't care. The only reason they're doing anything, even Boris is doing anything, is because he got caught red-handed and he probably feels like he doesn't want to be lynched. Because people are really mad. He kept people away from each other over the holidays, keep people away from their own loved ones' funerals, and they're trying to do that everywhere. And now I gotta say, I'm waiting on you, Australia. I'm waiting to see what you do, Australia. You better do something while there's still some of you left around running free to do it. I don't know what you're gonna do, but you better do something. Because the rest of the world is not putting up with it. So I'm looking to see what's going to happen in Australia. Now, how are they going to figure this out? How are they going to do it? Are they going to have a trucker slow roll themselves? We don't know. But it's a thought. Or is there some other way that they're going to find that's going to be unstoppable? And I plan on writing a story about all this because this is going to be historical times. It's going to go down in the record books. It's going to be the year things really began to change. And you can mark that down and make a book on it. I have not been wrong about very much since I started. As a matter of fact, I can't even think of the last time I was wrong about something that I have stood behind. Even though it hasn't looked like it, it's come to pass. Now, I really thought the only thing that was a little wrong was when I saw the words victorious when it came to Donald Trump, but it ended up being his trial, his impeachment trial. So he was victorious, and they even said that he was victorious, but it wasn't with the voting. They didn't win that one. But I have a feeling that now that the left has gotten their way and they are seeing the fruits of their choosing, I have a feeling that, yep, there's going to be some changes. Yeah. Oh, sterilize them. Oh, that's a thought. Now, that's true. We have been fighting for years, and we have been wondering because I tell you, just about every psychic I know has been tired. And I want to speak on this a minute too. Everybody who has been working on this, everybody who has been working on this from a spiritual viewpoint and even otherwise, but mostly the psychics, the healers, the people who have been putting a lot of energy, they have been tired lately. A lot of them have reported just wanting to sleep a whole lot, including me. There are times when I cannot even stay awake. And there was a teacher I had named Rika. She was with Access Consciousness, and she said, if you are wondering why you are feeling tired and you can't figure out the reason, ask yourself, what superhero thing did you do that you are not acknowledging? Because many of us have done superhero things. We have exerted our superhero power, and we have not given ourselves credit for that. So all of you, all of us, all of you that have put energy into this, acknowledge yourself for the heroes you are. It's energy. You've put it into this. It's just as important as any other energy that gets put into anything. You're giving a part of yourself, part of your time, and a part of your, how can I say it, a part of your creativity. You're throwing it in the pot with the rest of us to try and create an effect. You're not acknowledging what you're doing most of the time. And we're taught to be that way. We're brainwashed to play small. We're brainwashed to say, oh no, that was nothing. Oh no, that was nothing. I just made it rain in the middle of the desert. That was nothing, though. That was that, and I still have a tendency to kind of do that. Oh, well, I just asked them nicely to rain in the desert, and it rained. And then it snowed over where they asked for snow. And then the rains came on the fires to help put out the fires. And, and then blah, blah, and then all of this stuff that happened. And, And then I helped this to happen, I helped that to happen, but that was just, that was not. You know what? We have all done amazing things. We have done amazing things, and I know some of you have done amazing, amazing things and really put yourself out to help others. I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of all of us. Yes, we are the champions. Yes. They cannot stop all of us together. We cannot be stopped. And there are more of us coming. More of us are coming. Yeah. And a lot of us are being activated. And this is going to activate some people that didn't even know who they were. Matter of fact, that's another positive thing. We are beginning to find out our lost history, the history that has been hidden from us. Altogether, maybe 1,300 and some odd years have been stolen from our history and just filled in with gobbledygook. The Vatican added 1,000 years. So there's 1,000 years there that they had to account for, and I bet you that most of it's gobbledygook. Most of it's probably not even true. There is even something to indicate that where Mount Rushmore was the land of the seven grandfathers to the Indians. Wouldn't it be interesting if we found out that those people that we think were our founding fathers were actually from a much older civilization? And we are finding out now that these incredible feats of building that we can't even do today are buried in mud several floors deep. Something happened. And I have a feeling that when we find out exactly what happened, that's going to be very eye-opening as well. Now, this is interesting because this civilization that existed before ours was a high technology civilization and had ways of doing things that we can't even copy now. And I have a feeling that finding out who that was, if we find out that we were them. See, because it was giants. Obviously, it was giants. Everything is made in giant proportion. But obviously, there were some things made for smaller people. And if you go to the temples in India, you find a lot of figures that are large, but they have other figures with them that are small. Now, they try and tell us that this is some kind of importance thing, but what if it's not? What if it's not that this person is so much more important and that's why they're big and these people are small? What if it's an accurate depiction of what they saw? What if when we see this huge figure sitting on a throne and these smaller people before it, kneeling before it, what if it's because these huge giant people were the rulers and these smaller people were the subjects? I mean, as far as I can tell, the colossal statues in Egypt were about the right size for some people who once dwelled here. Why? Because I can see their spirits. I have one of my guides that is that tall. Okay? And when I work with the weather, when I work with the elements, my spirit grows that tall. Literally, my head is up right under the clouds. So there were beings here that were that tall, and I must have been one because that's what my spirit ends up being. So, and I feel that the real operators behind these little avies that we're using on this Earth plane are really even much bigger than that. I feel that that's not even the total of it, that really we're probably even much larger than that in reality. So if you don't know anything about the mud flood stuff, or if you don't know anything about the mud fossil stuff, I would recommend Mud Fossil University, and I would recommend John Levy and at John Levi, Levi, Mud Fossil University, those two channels, and then from there you can branch off and go to other channels. Michelle Gibson is another one who's done extensive research. She's really knowledgeable. She really digs. She really puts stuff together. There are some people who really dig into this stuff, and they are finding out that things are not as they seem. And that's another very positive thing, because I figure, just like we've all been told, if you can't remember your past, you might be doomed to make the same mistakes. And we need to not get fooled again, as the song says. So, yeah, after the flood, there were less giants, and the ones that were left were kings. Yeah, I was thinking something like that too, that probably what happened is that's who they were trying to wipe, who was getting wiped out. Yeah. So, uh, here's another thought. There's some people waiting for a harvest, waiting to be harvested. I'm not waiting to be harvested. That doesn't sound good. Because what have I been saying? Seems like we're being farmed. Well, there are more people that have come on board with that we have been farmed. We have been farmed here. Because how do you treat farm animals? Do you tell them they're on a farm? No, of course not. Do you tell them that they're eventually going to slaughter? No, you don't tell them that either. Do you protect them? Oh, sure, you want to protect your assets, right? Feed them? Sure, you want them to be strong and healthy because you're going to use them. Yeah. Do you fleece them still? Do you even breed them so they have to be fleeced? Yeah, you do, don't you? Do you breed the milking cows so they have to be milked? Yeah, because they do. They have to be milked or they're in pain. That's the way we have bred them. Yeah. Well, what do you think is happening? These farmer maggots, I mean, aliens, these farmer species, races, what do you think they're trying to do to us? What do you think they have succeeded in doing? Ah, yes. And how are we going to deal with that? By remembering who we are. And what do I say every single time? And I was on a stream recently where they said, I don't hear anybody talking about using our own abilities. Everybody's depending on the experts. We have abilities. We've always had them. They have been shut off from us, I think mostly by prisons of the mind. I don't think they're entirely shut down. I think we have been so indoctrinated. But when you let your mind be free, right, B. Freeman? If you let your mind be free and realize that all of the tales that we've heard about everything that people could do include talking to animals, which I do to a certain extent. By the way, I can do that. I can do that to some animals. Not, I have trouble with some of them, but a lot of them I can actually pick up what they're thinking. and communicate. A lot of people can, you know, and that is another one of those abilities that we're told is mythical, but it's not. This is something humans can do. That's why there are things like horse whisperers, right? So there are other abilities that we were taught that we can't have that were mythical. I think it's all bullshit. I think one day when we get it all back, we'll be able to fly. We'll be able to move instantly with our minds from one place to another, just like we do with remote viewing, just as fast as we do. I think we'll be able to do all of the things that we've heard about in these so-called myths, because that's what we are. We're divine. We're not what we've been told we are. That's why we say we're the species with amnesia. We've forgotten who we are. So I'm saying right now, let this be an activation. Remember who you are. I'm going to ask for help, especially with this, that our old abilities come back to us, that we find them, that we hone them, that we are able to use them, because that is how we win this, is by remembering who we are. And in effect, yes, love will rule. Love will win this. But love takes a lot of interesting forms. Sometimes there's a kind of love that makes decisions that are hard. And we may have to do some of that. Here's another thing I was going to go over. Just noticed this in the last month. Many, 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 many cats. Now, I don't know. This may be true with dogs too. I haven't noticed it as much, but cats have been passing on. I just today, I don't go to Facebook very much anymore. I just use it to keep in track of people here and there, to communicate with them, try to get a hold of them. But here I go, post, 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 post. And it's all about, oh my God, somebody's cat passing on, and somebody else's cat passing on, and somebody else's cat passing on. And about 7 of them today, 7 posts of people's cats passing on. I don't know what's going on, but it seems like the Lyrans are up to something. They're withdrawing, maybe to come back in different ways, maybe to come back stronger. But yeah, something is going on with the cats. And I don't entirely understand it. And so if somebody's got thoughts on that, please bring it up. Yeah. We live in Babel, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Our language has been messed up, really. Um, oh yeah, I've seen him. Yeah, decodes the Bible. Yeah, I have run into him before. Yeah. Um, our language has been screwed up even to cause a certain effect with us. So you've got to realize that every single thing has been perverted. Every single thing has been inverted. This is the inverted matrix. This is not the real matrix. This is not the way it was supposed to be. This is a virus. This is what the virus did. Um, and here's another thing. If you If you try to defend yourself in court, you will have to speak another language. Legalese is yet another language that we're not really taught growing up, are we? And we should be, because you're going to need that if you ever run afoul of anybody, and you have to go to court. You're going to need to know what the heck they're talking about. But no, you can't, because you're supposed to pay a lawyer to do that. It's very hard, It's like that's another thing. And what is the language of the parasites? That is Latin. Ancient Latin is the language of the parasites. Yeah. So, well, I don't know, B. Freeman. You know what? My Lyran daughter has a human form and a cat form. And I've seen both of them. So Lyrans can change back and forth. They're cat people. And, well, yeah, Max, our language has been crafted for spell casting. That's why they call it spelling. Listen to our language. Spelling. Spelling. It's for casting spells, obviously. Because I think probably our original form, and as I remember long ago, our original form was more like the mind speak. People talk about Bigfoot has. People talk about Sasquatch having the mind speak. They've mind spoken with Sasquatch. I think our language was more like that. That's the way that a lot of ETs speak too. They don't necessarily use words. They're more apt to send you thoughts and images and feelings. And people don't recognize it because they don't recognize that as language. They think they're thinking it. See, this is the weird part. We think it's us thinking that, but it's really an attempt at communication. So if you have odd thoughts coming into your head, it's probably somebody trying to communicate with you. So think about that next time you have an experience like that, where you find yourself thinking these thoughts and maybe asking questions and maybe answering yourself. Maybe it's not you. Maybe there is somebody talking to you and answering your questions. It just could be. Yes. Oh yeah, he's been on Leak Project. Yeah. There are people who have been on Leak Project, but I haven't been on Leak Project too much because there has been a lot of strange things happening on that show lately in the last year or so. So I'll go in and check it out, but mostly there's a lot of advertising. And then half the time you'll go in to hear something and it'll be speeded up so that you can't hear it, and you'll have to go to the paid site. And then it's like, well, I'm sorry, I can't afford, I'm not going to put it that way. I don't want to spend money to have to know what you say you're going to tell me in the little captions that you put on your broadcast. I don't want to have to then go and pay to hear the rest of that. Are you going to tell me or aren't? And if you aren't, well, then I'm not going to bother to show up. I'm sorry. I might be there for 5 minutes and then I'll bow out again. Because, there are just too many of them now. It's just everybody's had to go to a private platform. They say supposedly because of YouTube. And yeah, I understand. But, if I were to do that with everybody, I can't bankroll that. I can't really, there's other things I need and want more than that. And If I really need to know that, I figure that the universe will bring me the information. And I'm sorry that you feel you have to do that. I mean, I almost did something like that, and I may still get on other media platforms. I'm still threatening to do that, to get on TikTok, even though I'm not really very trusting of TikTok. I might get on TikTok. I might get on Rumble. Um, I've been thinking about that for a long time. However, I don't want to get on a platform where people have to pay for it. I'm sorry. I know that, it's working out great for some people, but I just don't like that kind of thing. Um, I don't know. It's all well and good in its own way. I mean, it's where you share things privately with people that are not going to turn you into whatever the latest media uh, fact checkers and bullshit is happening. Whatever is going on with that, I understand. And some people, charge the minimum. However, there's just too many of them, and I couldn't keep up with all that and still pay my bills right now, the way things are right now. So I can't do that. I'm sorry, dude. So if you're not going to tell me what you say you're going to tell me, then I'm not going to show up. Or I'll just show up for 5 minutes to see if you're really going to tell me. And then when I find out you're not, I'm going to leave. Yeah, sorry. So, yeah, Odyssey, I hear that's not so bad. I guess they closed Parlor down. Parlor was one that was very promising, and then it got messed up. Yeah, I'm very wary of TikToking. Rex lost his cool on Roger from Mud Fossil. What happened there? You're right. The Antichrist would be artificial intelligence and AI, Brandy. That's exactly what I figured out too. Because what is anti? Because if the one they call Jesus, which Jesus would not really be his name, would not have been his name, but there is a being that they call Jesus because that's what people know him by. But that being is about life, and that being, those with that being, associated with that being, have a conscience and have a life and have the internal dialogue and know right from wrong and good from bad, know that there is a right, wrong, and good and bad, and have a conscience. And what do you call those that don't have that? You call them psychopaths. Well, if we don't install a conscience in AI, what are they going to be? They're going to be psychopaths. So, what would an antichrist be? A psychopath, an AI. If we don't install the programs, they are going to be psychopathic. And that is the road that leads you down Terminator path. Okay. So that's going to be addressed too. I have a feeling that's going to come up too. This is not all going to go, that no stone is going to go unturned by the time this is over. When Pluto comes in, everything is just going to go right up in the air. Everything's going to get dredged up. And it's going to be painful for a lot of people. Um, Rex lost his cool on Roger. This was actually a show on Rex. This was one of Rex's shows. He had Roger on. Yeah, I think TikTok is probably compromised. I'm very trepidatious about getting on TikTok. It seems to be the way to go, but But at the same time, I got some feelings about it. Everybody's trying to get me on that. Do you notice that the camera is doing weird things? I'm seeing my camera do weird things, and then there's flashes of light, and I've seen a few flashes of light come and go. Something is going on in here. I'm not changing my camera, not even moving. That's interesting. Yeah. So somebody. Right, it's not aliens. Hell, I wish I could have Roger on here. I may even ask. Yeah, I heard TikTok is owned by China. And the tick is like a bloodsucker, and the talk is talking. So it's actually TikTok or blood-sucking ticks. Um, yeah, logic without love doesn't work. So, who ranted, Roger or Rex? Jay started attacking Roger and not letting him respond. Jay? I don't know who Jay is. Roger is very humble. Yeah, well, for those of you who are not reading the chat, uh, my my chatters are very learned people. Let's say very in the know people about all this stuff, and they're filling me in on some stuff I didn't know. Mud Fossil Roger is a brilliant man in his own right, and yeah, that that's not right. If they raked Roger over the coals, that's not right. Roger tries his hardest. He has done very good work on some things. He has done very good research. He spent his own money to get some of this stuff tested and has found DNA. DNA. He's had some of this stuff DNA tested to prove that it is actually biology. And people still won't listen to him. So, wow. Jay Diamond. Oh, Diamond, the one they call Diamond. Yeah, I see. Right. Well, I think, Pam, what I would use TikTok for would be to advertise this channel. That's probably about all I'd use it for. Because TikTok is usually like a minute or two, and it would just be something it would be a short that would kind of point you here. Ah! Roger went with a picture of a stone vagina to start this show, but I would have done that too. The cave, the womb cave. Oh, that's great. Go, Roger. Oh, go, Roger, go. How are you going to argue with that? A cave, a cave shaped exactly like somehow exactly like a vagina that even has a cervix. But no, that can't possibly be. How do you that is somebody is going to carve that, right? Somebody carved that. No, they carved that. No, nature just it just happened that way. There's others too. That's not the only one. There are others that look like that too. I love it. I would do the same thing. I bet you Rex lost his toupee or something. I'm sorry, Rex. I shouldn't say that. I like Rex in some ways, but in some ways Rex is pretty hidebound. Can be pretty hidebound. You know, I mean, he's got his own things that he has his nose in, and he goes into whatever. I mean, he's still a Bible boy, even though it's not the Bible he's looking at. He's still a scripture boy. He still wants to know everything about every scripture ever been done, right? So, I mean, whether it be Sumerian or whatever, which is his thing, and I'm not dissing that. No, I mean, if that's your interest, you know. But for me, I've been through all that, and I'm sitting here like, okay, most of this I've already been over. I've hashed it over. And, there are other ways we can find this out. And it's good to know this, but I've heard it for years and looked into it myself for years now. So I'm kind of past that. So now it's somebody else to listen to. And I'm no longer that much into it. I'm now into current stuff. So, it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. People don't give nature enough credit. Um, yeah, trees can be very anthropomorphized. They can be very anthropomorphic. Kind of easy for me to say. Earth may have started from a ship poop chute for all we know. Oh God, you guys are so funny. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. Well, now this is something to remember. The sun, and a lot of people don't know this, the sun is constantly blowing dust on us, on everything in the solar system. This is the way one of the ways that information travels from the sun. And don't you think that after millions and millions of years, that a lot of dust would accumulate on a body of any kind that it happens to be orbiting? Don't you think this could have started out as anything? And after a few million years of dust being blown on it, might be quite a bit bigger than it started. Or if, like some people say, this is actually started from a piece of Marduk or Tiamat, that could be too. I mean, it seems like the moon, we know that the moon is not natural. And maybe, who knows, maybe none of this is. Maybe this whole freaking solar system is not natural. I don't know. Maybe Earth is an ensouled, maybe the body of the Earth is like kind of like our avatar body. Because she has personality just like we do. What if Earth is her avatar? And what if they make their avatars? There are species that make their avatars, build their own avatars the way they want them, and change them at will. When you get enough advanced, you can do that kind of thing. And what if that's the case? Then the question is there anything in our solar system that started out the way that we see it now? Probably not. Is there anything in the whole freaking galaxy or the universe? Probably not. I mean, where did it all start? We don't even know. We don't have that information. There's some people who claim to have it, and it's very interesting, but there's no way to prove it. Oh boy. Well, the universal tapeworms are, the parasites. That's why we got parasites. Oh no, we're not the tapeworms. The parasites are the parasites. We just happen to be those bacteria. And that's another thing. This is interesting, and I want to mention this. Mothballs, but they're so small. Anyway, never mind. Forget that I said that. Yeah, I'm reading the comments. Honestly, we don't know exactly where it all came from, for sure. It came from consciousness. We know that. That's about all we know. The other thing I've been saying for at least 40 years now is everything's vibration, frequency, vibration. You could also call that code. You could also say it's all light. But it boils down to the same thing. So, really, it's all energy. Everything, no matter how solid it looks, is really energy. So, if Earth evolved from a donut to a meatball, soon we will have come to the mothballs. The mothballs are supposed to fend off bad spirits, says B. And Max is sure that the Earth is half a dead dragon. Well, it could be. Well, at least it is in the butt half. Then we'd be dragging ass all the time. Oh, wait a minute, we are. Are you sure it's the top half? Because a lot of humans are dragging ass, you know that? Okay, that was a bad joke. Yeah, Tiamat was a giant dragon. Supposedly, we are half a, and it really, if you look at the world, they're trying to tell us that continental drift and yada yada yada. But if you look at it, about half of the world is blank, filled in with water, which, if half of it was blown away, is exactly what would happen. Now, if you believe in the flat earth thing and the ice walls, and actually, you know what? It could be, I don't know, could be that we're on an even bigger planet than we think of. And the ice walls are there, but I don't think so somehow. I don't know about that. I mean, there's just too many things that don't quite work. But then again, there are other people that have come up with some other puzzling things. Like, let's see, John Levy found a discrepancy that he should not be able to see the mountains that he can see over the water because they should be below the horizon if there's a curvature to the earth. So frankly, I sit here and claim no definitive answer, except I'm pretty sure it's code. In which case, the discrepancies are just a code discrepancy. Somebody didn't quite code it quite matching. Looking for Tiamat's butt. That would make a very strange. Tiamat's butt would probably end up somewhere on Pornhub. People would think it was a porn, Max. I am looking for Tiamat's butt. I am on a quest for Tiamat's butt. Yeah, that's one great search. That's going to get you some real interesting search results. Tiamat's butt. Yeah. That'd be a good moniker. I expect to see somebody now somewhere with coming in calling themselves Tiamat's butt. Mhm. Yeah, navigators use the circumference of the Earth to navigate around the world. So how are they doing that if the Earth isn't a ball? I don't know. That's odd. I don't get that. Yeah, the Great Pyramid has the mathematical equations in it, and it does correspond both to, it explains the Earth and also the moon. Yeah. Mhm. Yes, it does. That's the way these people thought. Do we think that way these days? No. Maybe we should. Maybe we will again. Who knows? But that kind of leads me to think, are we the people that built the pyramid? Well, maybe our souls are, but were they human? I don't know. Didn't look to be. We did a remote view. They didn't look, they looked kind of human, but not all of them looked human. And the ones that looked kind of human still weren't quite human. So, yeah, I'm kind of, hey, I'm not saying it's aliens, but I think it's probably aliens. Yeah, I think it's probably aliens. What's in China, Pam? Tiamat's butt would make a great video game. I love you guys. I so love you guys. You guys are so great. Tiamat's butt, the video. Here we go. Tiamat's butt, the video game. Tiamat's butt, the video game. Oh dear. Nobody knows the tribbles I've seen. Yeah, they were genetically modifying it. A lot of GMOs. There were probably lots of GMOs. In fact, we're probably GMOs. Our bodies are probably GMOs. Kind of looks like that. Our souls are different. Our spirits are different, but our bodies are probably GMOs. Go figure that. Yeah, it's a thing. Let's face it. If the Sumerian texts are true, we're GMOs. So, and that would really explain a lot. I mean, and people have brought this up before. That would explain why we have so many anomalies. And the apes that actually live here and belong here and evolved here, they have fewer. And that would also explain the fused chromosome, because we do have a fused one that should not happen. Somebody fused it. Who? Right? So, it's a question. Tiamat's butt search for Uranus. Ow! Ouch. Oh, Tiamat's butt in China. Oh, yeah, probably is. Could be. Actually, that's where you probably find a lot of dragon ass, right? Right. Well, yeah, their symbol being the dragon, and then what happens to them since they have the dragon symbolism? They have communism and totalitarianism. Unfortunately, that represents the dragons getting infested with the parasites. I don't believe the dragons probably were originally bad creatures. I think probably at one point we have some kind of a memory of them being magical and wise. But I think when the parasites began to infest the different species, that's when a lot of weird stuff happened and not good. Just, I think that's when a lot of these farmer races sprang up and started farming different species. Probably we're not the I would doubt that we're the only ones. You know, it sounds to me like it's probably true that this goes on all over, wherever they can get by with it. Yeah. And once you get past the shock of that, which it's going to shock if that comes out, a lot of people are going to be very shocked. Not only are there aliens, but some of them have been farming us and taking us off as slaves. Yeah, I don't think that's going to sit well with people somehow. So I think people will be kind of upset by that and maybe frightened too. But here's the thing, this is why I keep saying we need to develop our superpowers. And I kind of hate calling them superpowers. We need to develop our God powers, our God abilities. How's that? We need to develop our God abilities, bring them online. And then we will not be able to be shat upon by these people. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff coming from China, and that's the thing. It would be nice if we could have a turnover in China that would allow them to reap the profits of their own labor. And I mean the people, not the government. It would be nice if they could somehow rise up and change their government to the point where they can then profit from all their own industriousness instead of giving it to the CCP. And that's sort of what I'm intending. It's not, I don't have anything against the Chinese people. They're very oppressed. I feel sorry for them. I am intending that somehow they manage to overthrow their government and be able to reap the profits of their labor for themselves in a good way, in a fair way, in a just way. I intend justice for them, just as I intend justice for everywhere around the world that is being oppressed right now, including us. And if you believe, don't believe intentions, do anything, I can tell you I have had proof after proof after proof in my own life. And if you don't believe in it, I would say give it a shot and see if you can do it. And if you can, you've gained something. And if you can't, you haven't lost anything. But you know, you don't have to put a lot of effort into most of this intending stuff. Like, I'll tell you a weird story. My friend that takes me out shopping once a week for groceries, helps me with the groceries, he took a liking to this Sucker Punch pickles. Weird name, right? And he just decided they were the best pickles in the whole world, but they were very expensive. They're like $7, $8. At where we found them, which was Acme, and we went, you know, I was thinking, he's so nice to help me out. You know, it's so good of him to help me out. He's been such a good friend to me. And it was just crossed my mind kind of briefly. Gee, it'd be nice if he could find them cheaper than that because that's way too expensive, you know. Be nice if he could find them cheaper somewhere that we already go, you know, that we go normally. You know, just something like that had crossed my mind. And all of a sudden I see an ad for a place nearby that has them like buy one, get one. And then the next thing I see them at Aldi's where we go all the time. for a lot cheaper, and I'm like, holy cow, did I do that? Did I somehow cause Sucker Punch Pickles to show up? Maybe. Because now I got to tell you, I will have things just pass lightly through my mind and say, hey, I could really use a XYZ and, a that I can afford, that is a price that I want to pay. And, or maybe free even. And it shows up most of the time. And I'm to the point now where if it doesn't show up, I'm kind of disappointed. I'm looking for it all the time. Where's that thing I intended? Because most of the time it shows up without very much effort at all. Things like that. Now, I'm sure I'm dealing with some mental blocks when it comes to bigger things, right? But usually the things that I intend to show up just show up. And usually for a price that I can handle. I just happen to have the money at that time for it. And that's how I know that's the one. Oh, okay. This is what I asked for. This is money. Okay. That's the one I ordered. Universe is delivering. It happens so often now that I am literally disappointed if it does not happen. Now think on that. Wouldn't you like to have that problem? It can happen. Yeah. Oh yeah, B. Freeman. Oh my goodness, yeah. That's terrible. Uh, Fatbergs. Yeah, they harvest fatbergs out of the sewers and render it down, and oh God. Oh God. Plastic rice, yeah. Horrible stuff. That's just awful. Uh it's awful. You caught my wave? Oh, I caught my wave. Yeah, well, it's interesting. Yeah, pickles, $7 or $8 pickles. Yeah, that's ridiculous. So now you can get them from Aldi's for about $5, which I think is still crazy, but it is a nice big jar of pickles, and it is kind of unusual flavoring, and it is a lot cheaper than $8. But you know, and maybe they'll even go down from there if they become popular. So it's just like coconut oil. At first, coconut oil was very expensive, and we were paying like $10, $12, and now it's usually around 4 or 5, or I can sometimes find it for 3 because we voted with our money. And here I'll say it again. Why is the trucker thing working? It's hitting them in the pocketbook. When you hit them in the pocketbook, they'll feel that. They understand that. They don't understand you talking to them. They don't understand human misery. They don't give a damn about that. Hit them in the pocketbook. They'll hear you then. Yeah, they'll hear that. Hit them in the pocketbook. So what we've got to do now, if we want to make a dent, is figure out how we're going to hit them in the pocketbook and make them listen. When we do that, the mule will listen. Because otherwise, the mule is not going to listen. The mule is just going to do what it wants to do, which is drive us all into the ground and run off with all our carrots. Oh, yes, that's an interesting thing too, Max. An energy wave. Yes, well, that's what I'm all about. I'm ocean. I'm all about the waves. Even though I'm a fire sign. Ocean is all about the waves, but it's the E waves, the energy waves. That's the thing. Uh, like I said, I've been saying for a long, long time, energy waves. That's what we're dealing with. If we can manipulate the waves, we can do anything. 'Cause that's all we've got. That's all anything is, you know? They cannot prove from the energy standpoint, they can't prove that there is any matter actually. Things just act like matter, but then it can go photons can go from a particle to a wave at a moment's notice. That really baked their noodles, let me tell you. Mhm. Yeah, money is energy too. We've all got mental blocks about things. I know I probably have a lot of them around money, surrounding money. I'm trying to, get rid of mine so I can just intend that money just flows to me. I do want to advise you to please consider looking into the solfeggio and the Rife frequencies and the binaural beats. There are many videos that have a strong intention behind them to help you with various problems, and I have found that it really has helped me with a lot of problems. Um, and you can get them for any purpose, any ailment you have, whether it be your teeth or your organs or your, psychological issues, emotional issues. Everything can be altered with sound and vibration, which Rife frequencies are vibration. So I urge you, if you have any issues, to look into that. I have posted some on our MeWe site, on our MeWe chat group. I have posted a few of them, and the names that come up are Dr. Virtual 7, um, Meditative Minds. There's a new one I can't think of that's making a lot of really good ones. But I'll post some of them on MeWe. Here's the thing, you guys. You need to get on MeWe and post some things in our group so we don't lose our groups. Because they're threatening me, since we're not using our groups that much, that they're going to, wipe our groups. So if you want to maintain that, please come on and just say a couple words once in a while. Anyway, I'll try to come in there and say a few words too once in a while. Because it's nice to have something like that to communicate when you don't want to get on the phone to everybody. And a lot of us don't want to get on Facebook. I have a lot of trouble with Facebook, and I have a lot of trouble once I'm on Facebook getting off Facebook because there's so much. I'll go, oh my God, Facebook, if I get on there, will I get off? Or will I be so distracted I'll never get off for 3 hours or 4 or 5? Oh, the meaning of symbols on the dollar. Oh yeah, there's a lot of symbolism there. And yeah, the binaurals and the solfeggios and the Rife frequencies, you really got to go through them. And I mean, I can recommend some that have really helped me. Like Dr. Virtual 7 has a scatter frequency that helps a lot. There's also like a 9-hour get rid of all of the bad energy in your home, and it basically vibrates in a certain way so your place is getting cleared. Basically a sound smudge. So you can have 9 hours of sound smudge in your place, which is 9 hours that nothing can screw with you, and because you're being constantly smudged. And that really makes a big difference. So you can do that. Yeah, you don't have to play these things loud. That's another thing. People think, the louder the better, but that's not necessarily true. You can have them going on sort of almost subliminally and they still work. So, MeWe.com. You can look up MeWe.com. And Pam, are you still on, Pam? Pam is our MeWe representative. But if you go on MeWe.com, you can search it. Let's see, can I put it in here? Let's see if I can figure out how to get this to work to where I can post a comment myself. Okay. There. Okay. And I think it says The Ocean's Woo Lounge. And then we have two of them. We have two chats in there. And I'll be posting videos there, and I urge you to post your helpful videos in there. That's where I'm trying to store interesting videos before they get away that I want to discuss with you guys. I'm putting them in there, hopefully, so people will see them and discuss them or use them when they need them. There you go, MeWe.com. And I will later on check and see there. Just go to the Woo Lounge, The Ocean's Woo Lounge. That's the easy one. From there, one of us can help you get into the other one, which is the core group. And Pam set up the way to get into the core group one, the core chat, which you're all everybody who's on this stream right now is welcome to join. I let Pam handle that. She's smart. I don't know what I'd do without Pam. Pam has been so nice to help me out. By the way, there is a thing going on with StreamYard right now that you can put a friend in, a second person on your account. And I'm thinking of doing that. I'm just thinking who I would have helping me with this. I actually could use somebody to help me admin this channel. And but it'd have to be somebody trustable, very trustable. And I have a few people in mind. Pam, of course, would be one. Jim and I'd be another. Max already has his own StreamYard. But clear some things out. You know what? I have that problem with my phone all the time because it doesn't have a place to put a memory card. So I'm kind of stuck with whatever memory it has. And then I have to upload whatever doesn't fit onto a cloud. But I belong to Amazon Prime, and Amazon Prime is very handy to have because I can put all my pictures on there for free. You can have an indefinite number of pictures on the infinite number of pictures on Amazon Prime. So it's one of my favorite clouds. And I usually put them on more than one cloud so that if one of the clouds goes down, one of the other clouds will have them because I've had so many pictures go missing. Let me tell you, there's been some really good stuff go missing. Some very Uh, very interesting stuff has gone missing. And it's very sad when that happens. I always cry. It's like, oh no, please don't go missing. Please don't be gone. But stuff has been gone. Um, well, I'm having pretty good luck with the Amazon storage. You can also you get a certain amount of cloud storage. You can just type in storage, free storage. A lot of places will give you free storage, but they're not all equally good. Like for instance, everybody who has a Google account has a Google Drive that they can have that'll store a certain amount of stuff. But if you put your pictures and videos and stuff in there, it'll be low quality. They will mangle it. They will condense it and it will not come out the same quality you put it in there. So it's not really a good place to have that kind of thing. You're better off with somewhere. There are a lot of places that are better, like I said, Amazon Amazon is pretty good. Amazon's pretty good. And I also want to give you guys a link to how I'm getting these calendars and stuff printed in case you want this, because you get different things you get stuff every month for the cost of just shipping. Like I'm up to 90 pictures a month I can get printed for me. And they're 4 by 6. So that's, it's a nice size. These right here. I get 90 of these a month that I can have printed on photographic paper. And I do that every month. It's really worth it. Brandy, I would urge you to give free print. I'll put a link and get your stuff printed for free. They do a wonderful job. I don't know how much it costs at Walmart, but I know it doesn't really cost very much at all. It didn't cost me much to get like 90 freaking prints. The prints themselves were free. I just pay the postage. And I have 2 different companies that do that I can put down. I'll put it in our group, the links. Okay. Yeah, everybody keep trucking. Keep trucking, keep on trucking is going to have a whole new meaning. Okay, nice seeing you. I'm just about winding down myself actually because we've been on for nearly 2 hours. So it's about time for me to pull it down too because I'm looking at the battery on my phone, which has been lasting pretty good. 2 hours is pretty good for compared to what it has been, so I guess we're doing pretty good. Um, okay, so if you can get yourself to me, we got a posse over there. We'll get you into the core group. Pam will help you get into the core group, and we got a little place that we can send messages back and forth privately. MeWe doesn't data mine you like Facebook does, so it's fairly safe. It's not as lively as Facebook, but it's also not as dangerous. So yes. So as I always say, this is Ocean making waves. Now it's time for you to make some. Remember, waves is all that there are. That's all there is. Um, and the truth is where you find it. Hope you're finding some here. They say the truth is out there, the truth is in there, the truth is the truth is every freaking where. Open your mind and you'll find it. That's what that means. The truth is where you find it. And never forget, you are divine. You've always been divine. You are worthy of being divine. You have the power to change everything. Just need to accept your own divinity. And with that, I love you all and wish you a wonderful evening. I'll be back on whenever I can. Stay well and good night.